Good evening, everyone. My name is Sam Nasser, and this is the Azure Cleveland User Group. A little bit about the group. We meet typically every second week of the month. The meetings are free of charge and open to the public, and we cover a variety of topics related to Azure. You can find all the meeting information posted at meetup.com at the link listed at the bottom of the slide. As we always do, we'll give a big thank you to our sponsors, the .NET Foundation for sponsoring the Meetup website, and NIS Technologies for sponsoring the virtual meeting space as well as the recording. Some general information. First and foremost, participation is encouraged. Feel free to enter in your questions or comments, either through chat or jump in verbally. And always keep in mind the only stupid question is the one not being asked. So feel free to jump in at any point in time. However, when not speaking, kindly ask you to mute your microphones just to avoid any background noise. And we want to keep it casual and organized, meaning you don't need necessarily to wait for the presenter to stop and ask for questions. Feel free to jump in at any point in time, again, either verbally or through chat. But at the same time, we want to give our presenter enough time to get through the slides and the demos. Lastly, the presentation is being recorded and will be posted on YouTube in just a few short days. So for tonight's feature presentation, we have Bruno Capuano joining us from Ontario, Canada. He's going to be presenting on generative AI in Azure, local models, and use cases today. Bruno is a senior cloud advocate for Microsoft. He's a former 14-time Microsoft MVP, and he always likes to dabble in new technologies, play the guitar as seen in his background, and run. Apparently, he's an avid runner. You can find his Twitter handle at lbruno, and also a lot of his blog postings at lbruno.com. And so with that, welcome, Bruno. Glad to have you tonight.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. I'm super happy to be here. Hey, my name is Bruno, work at Microsoft. I'm part of the Cloud Advocate teams. My main work is everything around .NET and AI. And I am super happy to be here talking about AI in Azure. And the whole idea of today is to show you a mix of what is new, that every day is changing, by the way. Every week we need to adjust the slides, names, products, services, and more. But at the same time, to show you what we can do with these new technologies. As you just said, I'm open to questions at any time. So if someone has a question, open the mic, ask a question. I'm taking a look at the chat at the same time, so I'm looking there. If someone wants to ask something in the chat, I will try to answer this in real time. I don't wait until the end for Q&As. I like to be also interactive there. And hey, if I can help with the question, fine. Otherwise, I will try to find someone who can help. So any question that you have or any idea, let's try to talk today, because I think that the value here is about that. And with that, I only think I have 2 slides and before switching to the portal and start to show stuff. But I think this is also an interesting one, because with everything that saw in the last couple of years around AI, basically November 30, 2022, so 2 years ago, OpenAI released ChatGPT as an experiment and everything changed. People started to talk with the chat that sounds very, very natural, that makes sense when you start to have a conversation. And on top of that, OpenAI started to create, we started to have some standards. In example, when we want to do chat, so other companies started to create their own models, but all of the models fits into this chat definition. So when the model started to advance and have more, and now we have models that can support audio, video, and more, there is a standard to see how we can use that. And with all of this, we at Microsoft believe that we can basically reinvent application with AIs. And I like to show this about reinvent application. An example with this. This is probably I don't know how old is the Notepad, but I know that, so not here, I know that the Notepad per se wasn't being touched for literally 30 years or so until last year, when someone said, hey, okay, let's add new stuff here. So they add these tabs here in the Notepad. So now we have tabs. Now we have a feature where you can write something, close the Notepad, open the Notepad again, and you will have this buffer memory that is stored somewhere there in a temporary file. So we know that every application can do more stuff, can do more. And we can also add stuff with AI. Right now, the Notepad doesn't have any AI features. As far as I remember, we don't have anything AI anything here, but kind of the brother of the Notepad, which is kind of the Paint. Again, another tool that nobody used and update in years. 3 years ago, got a kind of a redo here. They add the ribbon, and I know thumbs up, thumbs down. I don't know. Everybody, you may like it or not like it, but they add the ribbon, basic functionality. But last year, when we started to have these models to do chat and more, one of the type of models was these stable diffusion models to generate image. So what I can do here is I can use the image creator in Paint and choose something like a kitten playing soccer in the moon. So if you want to start here, you can create an image. It's going to take some time. By the way, if you are running Paint in a machine that has an NPU, not a CPU, not a GPU, a neural processing unit, you can have some real-time changes here while you are typing is generating the image. I don't have it one, but hey, I don't know why. I don't know if someone going to use this. I don't use Paint a lot, but hey, we have some AI even in tools, in super old tools like Paint that help us. And you see in the Microsoft area that we also add AI tools everywhere. If we talk about Copilot, we have them everywhere. So that's why we believe that every application will be reinvented with AI. We believe that there is a space for application to add more features. That said, we used to say that in order to do AI, in order to add AI or some AI functionality in an application, the application needs to be a modern app where the app needs to be deployed to the cloud and use, I don't know, use microservices with Kubernetes and more. No, local applications, cloud applications, every type of application have the chance today to do AI. Of course, if we use the cloud, it's going to be even better, but that's kind of the thing that we want, to basically inspire people to see what you can do. And with that said, as I said, let's switch and start to see a couple of things of what we can do today. So the first one, I don't have it running here, and just in case I'm going to do a voiceover, is we have one of the features that we have right now in the speech. This is pre-recorded, is the avatar, where you can choose an avatar. Basically, we have a couple of templates there. You can create your own avatar and then choose one of the voices and start to play around with the voice. In this case, we are going to use Jenny, multilingual. No, can't remember which one we choose. Yes, it's Jenny. And then we are going to ask the avatar to speak. After a couple of seconds, it's going to start to speak. I hope.
Hi, I'm Lori. Welcome to the Microsoft AI Tour. It's a pleasure meeting you all here.
By the way, did I share with audio? I think yes. Did you hear this? Perfect. I always forget about that. But interesting here, while the avatar is running, we can start to add gestures, we can start to customize the avatar, make the avatar speak in another language. When Aika, my friend, created this, I don't know, she went to do the demo in Turkish, but hey, this is how this voice sound in Turkish.
Merhaba, ben Lori. Microsoft Yapay Zeka turuna hoş geldiniz. Hepinizle burada tanışmak çok güzel.
And while it's working, I am not going to stop here a lot. There is a very, very important topic here, which is this. We can program this. We have SDKs, we have a lot of things that are going to allow us to, if you want to create something that reacts for different scenarios and more, you can literally go and create some Python code and start to do this. You can even connect this to your own model. Imagine that you have a GPT-4o model, very powerful in the back, the model that runs behind ChatGPT, connected to your data, so you have an avatar speaking with you with gestures, a very good lip syncings and more, that you can do this. And hey, this is something that we can do today. But what I want to show you today is that on top of that, what we have, where is my browser? There it is. On top of that, what we have is more services. We have a lot of services. So we just see how we can get an avatar here. But there is also other features, like in example, their personal voice. If I go here to Azure AI Foundry is the entry point to everything AI related. If you have an Azure subscription and you go to ai.azure.com, this is where you can log in, access your subscription, and start to create and play around with everything. And here in the playgrounds, we have different type of playground. If I go to the speech playground, what we can do, tons of scenarios. We have the real-time transcription, fast transcription, and more. But we have also personal voice. Personal voice is basically a super cool service that allows us to create our own voice with a very, very small sample data. And with that, we can basically start to use the voice in other languages. So, an example, let me see if this works. Sometimes when I share my microphone and more, it's not working. But if I want to create a new voice, the first thing that I need to do, okay, yes, it doesn't have, I am already using via browser my microphone, so it doesn't allow me to do this. But first of all, I need to say this sentence where I agree to use my recording to create the voice, but then I create the voice. And the voice, as I said, is only 2 lines, but then I can create sentences in English. So when I recorded the voice, the original language from the voice was in English, and this sentence here, the panda can take it home, based on the voice, will sound something like this.
The panda can't take it home.
Which I know, it's similar to my voice. So
The panda can't take it home.
But this is not Bruno, but hey, I will trick my mother. But you probably noticed the accent. I'm not Canadian. I was born and raised in Argentina. I live in Spain. Hablo español. I speak Spanish. And it's amazing here. If I switch to Spanish, and the sentence in Spanish is the panda can take it home, is el panda no puedes llevárselo a casa. Let's see the difference between the Spanish. By the way, the Spanish is generated from the original English one. So, el panda no puedes llevárselo a casa.
El panda no puede llevárselo a casa.
It's very, very similar. I know Spanish, so the accent that they are using is Spanish from Spain. I am Spanish from Latam, from Argentina and more, but it works. And hey, if someone wants to choose another language, Romanian, Polish, Korean, yeah, let's see how I sound in Korean. I didn't even go into try to understand what is happening here, but
판다는 그것을 집으로 가져갈 수 없습니다.
I will trust that this is my voice speaking in Korean. And yes, this is a silly scenario, but where we can use this, there are several scenarios. So, in example, one of the features that were announced, I think, in Ignite or a couple of months ago, is that in Teams now, you can join a meeting, and I don't know when the feature is going to be available. You can join a meeting speaking your own language, and your colleagues, the people are in the Teams meetings, are going to hear your voice in the destination language, in their language, and it's going to be in real time. And it's something nice because sometimes I struggle to find the right word in English or even in Spanish and more. And imagine that here in Canada, we also have French-speaking people. So if you have French people, they can listen to me. And you can try this right now, not in Teams, but there is one of the tools that we have, which is the video translation. And the video translation, in example here, I have when we announced GitHub Copilot, the GitHub Copilot launch a couple of weeks ago. I recorded this video. This is the original video. Hey, hoy es día de buenas noticias. GitHub Copilot. I did it in Spain, but I used this to be translated also to, this is the Korean. So, Copilot은 무료야. Oh, sorry. GitHub Copilot은 무료야. I don't know why I'm losing the second part. Oh, there it is. So it's automatically translated to Korean, and it's going to work.
Copilot을 확인해봐.
I don't know, maybe in Korean it's shorter, but hey, I shared this with a colleague from Korea, and he said it's very nice. Of course, when I am speaking, it doesn't make sense because you can see the lip syncing not making sense. But there's also other scenarios, like this one, when I have a 4-minute training video that originally sounds something like this.
So this is the first day of Serena, and she's going to have a couple of things to do. The first of all is going to have access to a lot of collaborations tools, of course, Teams, Word, Excel, more. In the email, a lot of...
So this is a day in a life for a developer. But right now, literally, without any effort, if I want to share this, we translate this to French, I use this service that use my personal voice, so it doesn't need to do I don't need to train a model or anything. It's going to pick up the voice from the video and it's going to translate the video, and this is the output automatically translated to French.
C'est le premier jour de Serena et elle va avoir quelques tâches à accomplir. Tout d'abord, elle aura accès à de nombreux outils de collaboration, bien sûr Teams, Word, Excel et beaucoup.
So literally in seconds, because it took me seconds, I have here a video that I can translate in this scenario from original language English to French, or if I have another audience in the supported languages, and we will have the subtitles, the captions, more here. And once again, everything that I am doing here can be scripted. You can do your own Python scripts, Caesar scripts, or more to automate this, but it's amazing. And if I want to do a new one, it's literally create a project, use personal voice. Let me see where I have my videos. Let's go here, events. I can choose one of the videos. Oh, those are long ones videos, but let's upload one. Day 2. And I will say original language is going to be English, and I want to translate this one to, once again, Spanish, Mexico. I will create this. It's going to upload the file, take some time. This was a big file, but in a couple of minutes, I will have, in this scenario, a training video ready to be used. So I hope it makes sense. I hope you get the idea of what we can do, because this is really, really powerful, and really, we can do a lot working with this. Another cool feature that we have right now. Oh, yes, sorry. Someone had a question? No. Oh, sorry. There was a notification somewhere here, and I was thinking there was a question. Another cool feature that we have here in the playgrounds, as I said, is that we saw that we can create avatars. We saw that we can make the avatar speak in the language that we want. We also saw that we can use personal voice, which is literally translate any human voice to another language, keeping that person's specific characteristics. Sounds like Bruno, sounds like my kids, or whatever. And we also have the real-time playground, real-time audio feature, which is basically allowing us to interact with the model. In this case, I have one model, the GPT-4o real-time here, and I can speak with the models. For this one, I am going to use the other, because I have the chance here to select the other microphone. So I'm going to start to speak with the model. And remember, this is a model, a GPT-4o model, which is the one that is behind ChatGPT. So I can start to do something like this. Hey, hello, how are you? Can you help me to find some fun things to do in Toronto?
Hello, I'm doing well, thank you. I'd be happy to help you find some fun things to do in Toronto. Here are a few suggestions. 1. CN Tower. Visit this iconic landmark for stunning views of the city.
Okay, yes. I don't want to do CN Tower stuff. I like to go to the mountains. I like to go to the outside, see the nature and more. What can I do there?
If you're interested in outdoor activities and nature, Toronto has several great options nearby.
Oh, that's amazing. Please, go on.
Sure. Here are a few more outdoor options near Toronto. 4. Rouge National Urban Park.
So I hope you get the sense. It works fine. And also it's, I will say smart, but these models are not smart. We are going to see how they work, but this is kind of good enough I can interrupt the model and have this conversation, and it makes sense. Literally, it makes a lot of sense when we have this. But this is a model, and we can customize the model. I can generate a set of instructions here that can help me to define how the model I want to behave when it's talking with me. So I am going to use here, I can type here the instructions, or I can use another model, a GPT model, to generate the prompt with instructions. So I'm going to say the assistant will only answer. Sorry. So I'm going to generate a prompt. I'm going to ask to generate a prompt that is going to define the instruction for the model to only answer questions related to soccer and also use an angry, grumpy style. So what I am going to, when I do this, I use a GPT model again, and it generates this instruction, which is going to say that, hey, you are a grumpy assistant who only answers soccer-related questions, and if you have a question, respond the question with a grumpy attitude, or avoid being overly polite or enthusiastic. This is probably not a very Canadian demo, by the way. If you don't have a soccer question, do something else. Also, the format, this is important. This prompt generated defines once the format that we expect to the assistant, give the answers, and also examples. This is something that is very, very useful. We are doing what is called few-shot learning here. So in example, we can start to say, who won the World Cup? France. Happy now. Which is your favorite movie? I don't care about movies. So we give some examples to the model to define how it's going to behave. So with this, I am going to apply the changes, and I am going to start the conversation again. Hey, hello. I want to see what I can do in Toronto, fun stuff to do in Toronto.
Ugh, I only talk about soccer. Try again. Maybe there's a soccer game in Toronto you can watch.
Okay, yes, if you only talk about soccer, I don't know, tell me, which is the best soccer player in the history?
The best soccer player in history. That's subjective, but most people argue between Pele, Diego Maradona, and Lionel Messi.
No.
Take
I'm a
your pick.
Messi fan. No. I'm a Messi fan. So don't talk about other one unless it's Messi.
Fine. Lionel Messi. He's won a bunch of Ballon d'Or awards.
So, sorry, and again, born and raised in Argentina, living in Spain, and more for me, soccer, football for me, it's literally running my veins. But I hope you get the idea that this is literally a model speaking with us in real time that is doing a lot of stuff. We can change the behavior. We can connect the model to our own data. It's not part of this demo. I have another demo to show that's involved code, some code in there. But imagine the possibilities here. Sorry, that's my puppy. If we put all of the things together, where we start to have these personal voices and more, you can do a lot of amazing scenarios. And behind all of this, what we have are large language models. We have these AI technologies. By the way, quick stop here. Does this make sense? Anyone has a question? Anyone wants to do something? This is not all of the latest stuff, but this is what we are using today to build a lot of things. So any questions?
Yeah, actually, I was wondering if kind of about the evaluation features, like how would you tell the model to behave differently, or how would you evaluate how it's doing?
So that's a great question. I am going to talk a little about this later, but let me show you today. So what we have here in Azure, in AI Foundry, we have a set of tools that we can apply for basically, as you mentioned, we can do evaluation or safety and security. So let's take a look quick one of safety and security. We have every model that we have deployed in Azure, like a GPT-4o model, a 5 model, and more. What we can create is one of the things that we can do to basically make the model more secure and later evaluate the model if we want, is create a content filter. A content filter, let's add one here. Let's do Cleveland Azure content filter. Let's create a connection, any of these. So what I am going to do here, I am going to define a set of filters for the input of the model and the output of the model. If we think of the model as a black box, like in example, when I was talking with the model, every time I talk and I send these questions or this conversation to the model, that's the input. But when the model responds, we have the output. And in the input, I can define I have different categories here like hate, self-harm, sexual violence, and more. It will support, because these models support media and text as formats that I can do. I can define the thresholds where I want to block low, medium, and high, or allow almost everything here. So I can define, in example here, how the model I want to behave, and I can apply this for the input and the output. One important thing here is that we also have, every time that we apply a content filter to one model deployed in Azure, we also have a lot of, this is people who are much more intelligent than me, they created a lot of work about everything that we have in new in terms of jailbreaks attacks that they are happening to these models, they are here. So if someone wants to try to use on one technique to basically break the model or to attack the model, we are going to have this filter here that is going to stop that question in example and trigger an alarm. And because this is part of Azure, we can define later, every time that we define something that triggers one of these categories, exceptions, or whatever, they can go to Azure Monitor, and we can have full traceability if they're associated to an application more. So we can apply this for the input and the output. And also, we can define our own rules based on our own keywords and more, where we can define a block list. So this is one of the tools that we have to, in example, help the model to behave in a decent way if we want. If we want to publish a chatbot and we want the chatbot to talk about any of these crappy categories or whatever, we of course can do this. And by the way, this is for the input, for the output, it's literally the same. And we have the streaming, of course, also supported here. And then we can define, okay, which model I want to apply this content filter. We can create one content filter and reuse by different models, or we can have one content filter per model, different options here. Another tool that we have is, and I don't think I have any demo ready here, I will switch subscriptions later, I think I have another that I can show later, is that you can create evaluations about the model. So in example, if you have a model, you connect your model to your own data, and you fine-tune the model with some system prompt like the one that I just created, and apply a content filter, we can create an evaluation solution where we can define, hey, this is the model, I have a prompt, give me an evaluation. By the way, if you have some knowledge about machine learning or artificial or deep learning, and you have some metrics like the accuracy of the model, F1 and more, we have similar metrics here for models, but the idea here with the model, when we train a model and we give them a question and an expected answer, we are not going to have the equal answer. That's probably not going to happen. So what we evaluate here is topic like relevance, in example. If I ask a question to the model and the model starts to talk to something very similar with is expected, we can define a value between 0 and 1 or 1 to 100 to see how the relevance is there. And this is usually performed by another model. We're going to, they have a big prompt saying, hey, we expected this, we have this, evaluate the response using this criteria and give me a value there. And we have relevance, we have groundedness, and we have more. And there is a lot of tools that we have here to do this. The most popular one is probably prompt flow, where we can pick up, as I said, one of the models and start to create basically a full prompt, a full flow that run this model, ask this question, evaluate this output, give me this answer, run this question again. You can do an eternal loop to basically evaluate an application. So there are a lot of tools, and as I said, I don't have anything here set up for testing, but I can switch subscription later and see if we have something. Does this make sense? That this helps?
Yeah. I'm currently based in Spain also.
I'm sorry?
I'm currently based in Spain also.
Oh, cool. Where?
Alicante.
Oh my God. So, okay. I am not going to put myself in nostalgic mode and missing the amazing weather that you have there, where we are having snow here. But hey, Alicante is hermoso. It's one of the most beautiful places there. So
Yeah.
I see a question. Dimitri said, "Can I integrate it with my application?" Yes, that's kind of the next topic. But before going there, let me talk a little about. Okay, this is what we see really quickly. The Azure AI Foundry, where we have all of the models, the services, and we have literally everything to do content safety, evaluations, and we have language model, vision, capabilities, and more. But the whole idea that I want to explain before going there is that how the models work, because this is important to understand the next steps. So the idea of the models, when we chat with the model, or I just talk with the model, what the model is going to do is going to pick up the input text that we have, that we provide, and is going to complete the text, complete the next text. So what we are going to have here is a model speaking. I'm going to have a question, and then I'm going to have a prediction. In order to do this, what we use is a metric, a metric that is called tokens. And imagine that the token is kind of a word. So we are going to provide a sentence with n token scenes, and the model is going to generate the next token to try to complete the sentence. So in example, if I say the sentence, in Alicante, the weather is always, and stop there, probably the model is going to say it's always nice, it's always beautiful, it's always warm, or something like this. It's going to generate the next token. But the way that we have here, you can see here the tokens, and understanding tokens is important because this is what we use to charge when we use the model. When someone uses a model like a GPT-4o or a O1 or the next future O3 or more, we basically charge for tokens. You have, I don't know, 1 million tokens, input tokens, 0.001 cents, and the million token output, 0.001 cents. I can't remember the price. It's not very, very expensive. But this is how it works. And the idea is that in example here, remember that the tokens are almost a word, but they are not associated, they are not specifically a word. When if I said we need to stop and throw for more, it's going to generate the next token. But in order to do this, when we start to chat with the model and talk with the model, we start to see that the model is kind of talking because we have all of the sentence here, and what it's doing basically is generating the next token and the next token and the next token. And by the way, I am not going to try to say anthropomorphism, whatever, because I can't even say that word in Spanish, so not for me. But what is important here is that when the model generates the next token, what we have there is also not just one token, maybe a piece of a word or a word. We have different options here. So we have options based in example with relevance or temperature. So we can define a model. When we use a model and we say to the model kind of be more creative, what we are doing is we are saying to the model, hey, do not give me always the best token for this. From time to time, and there is a whole history and science behind that, choose not the best fits, choose other ones, so we have the sense that it's more creative. So with this, we can start to define how the model behaves. So it's going to always give us the next likely token, but at the same time, we can define the temperature, we can define a lot of things that allows us to basically have a more creative way to interact with the model. And by the way, there is a lot of text here, but the whole idea is that if we ask questions, like we just see, what is the largest ocean in the world? It's going to say the Pacific Ocean. This is literally completing the sentence. If I move forward, I can start to say, hey, I have this text, and there are models like DALL-E 3 or others that are going to generate images. This is what we saw with the paint before. And this is not generating tokens, but is similar. They use a different architecture, it's called diffusion, stable diffusion, and they generate these images. But the new models are smart enough to basically understand, in example, if I ask the model what is in this image, the model is going to say, hey, the image shows a cute raccoon in a forest setting. The raccoon is going to analyze the image and going to give me insight of the image. And this is super powerful because we can start to work with this. So if I go back here, and I'm going to show you one example. If I go back here, let me go to the chat playground. I am going to use a GPT-4o model or for Omni. I can choose an image. Let me go here to my desktop, videos, file track here. I have a couple of images here. So I'm going to use this image and I'm going to ask, describe this image. You can see the image here. Let me minimize this. And the image is basically the output of a fire truck station. And we have here the response saying, hey, the image shows a street view featuring a building, which appears to be a part of fire station. But as I said, these models are kind of intelligent. This model can give us a lot of information. So I can go here. Let me close this. Don't save. And I can go here to my desktop, to videos, and this is
Bien americano, tío.
This is the video where I get the image. And you can see here that the video is taking is showing how a fire truck is getting out of the building. So that's something nice. I can go here. Let me clear this. And I can add more images. Let's add this one. Let us this one. Also this one. And also this one. I am going to add 4 only. And I am going to say something like, and I'm going to say, hey, these images represent frames of a video. Tell me what is the video about. So the model is going to be smart enough. Again, they are not smart, but the model is going to understand the context of all of these images and is going to give me this answer. The video appears to capture a fire station scene where a fire truck is leaving the station. The sequence shows the truck coming out of the garage and diving to the street. So this is kind of cool. We use a model to analyze this video, to analyze these images, and to get this. But how we can use this in an application? Going back to the questions that you asked. So let me go here to Net AI Video Analyzer, and let me show you a real-time scenario. By the way, I can share the links of the demos later if you want. So what I have here, I will use, let's use Azure OpenAI. I have here a program. Let me minimize this. And what I am going to do, I am going to open the file. I am going to read all of the frames of the file. I'm going to read all of the frames of the file. And when I have all of the frames, I'm going to get my Azure endpoints, my model endpoints, and more. And I am going to use this prompt, which is basically the attached frames represent the video, describe the whole video story, do not describe frame by frame. So I can run this. And by the way, when I do this, what I am going to do is I will iterate to the frame collection and create a full message to be sent to the model, and I'm going to show the response. So let me do one thing here. Let me double check that I have the right. Yes, I think I am fine with the user secrets, and I can run this. Let's do this. Set a startup object, and let's run this. So remember, it's going to open where is my console application running? There it is. So it's going to open the video. It's going to save all of the videos, and oh no, I need to update we changed the environment, and I need to put here my new environment here. So where is my OneNote? Here. And sorry about that. This is what happens in live demos, and we need to update in real time the model. So GPT-4o, there it is, chat playground. And the key. if I go back here and run the process again, what it's going to do is going to analyze, get the frames from the image, and then it's going to give me it's going to analyze the video, and it's going to give me the analysis. It's going to take time, of course, because it's sending a huge amount of data to the cloud. So after a couple of seconds, and if I still have my quota and I didn't hit my quota, we are going to see the response here of the video analysis. And while we are waiting, how we are doing this, we are creating here, we are using a set of packages in .NET, but you can do this in your own language. And what we are using here is Azure AI OpenAI to do this. And what I have here, I am creating a client and created a chat client. I am sending the question directly there with everything there. And somewhere here is a user chat message that is going to give me the response. So somehow it's not working. Hey, this is what's happened with live demos. Lucky us, I have the plan B here. If this one is not working, that is use my other subscription. And let's see if this one works. Okay, taking forever. I don't know why it's taking forever. So let me go here and update the user secrets in this one with the new values. And key. Okay, one more. And if it's not working, I will move to the other demo because somehow this one, it should work. It's taking forever. I don't know if it's something on my, okay, let me show you the same demo, but using GitHub model. So instead of using Azure OpenAI, what I can use here is GitHub model. So no, let's do this like this. So let's use OpenAI, which is literally the same. Because the models are the same, what I need is an OpenAI key. So what I can do is, let me go here to my platform, openai.com, login. So what I am going to do is somewhere here, I have my overview where I have my settings, API keys. Let's generate a new key. Delete for default project, create secret key. There it is. I can copy my key. And this demo is literally the same demo one more time, but using OpenAI and the GPT-4o mini demo. So if I run this, set up startup and run, created the video, created the frames, sending the frames. And we have the response here. The response says the video depicts the scene outside the fire station in an urban environment and more. But this is probably the silliest demo ever. But think about this. Think about, instead of that video, that we have this video. And this video is someone taking a look at the car. The car has a bump here, a couple of scratches. It's a blue car, taking a look. The video is also working kind of fast. And the video ends with the user getting inside the video and taking a taking a look at the kilometers of a mile of the video, 151,856. So I can switch my code here, and I am going to say, okay, give me get the car video, and also instead of doing the system prompt and user prompt describe video, I am going to say insurance cars analysis. Insurance cars analysis, and let's take a look at this prompt. And the prompt said, okay, you are an expert in evaluating car damage for car accidents. Create an incident report for the accident showing the video with 3 sections. Section 1 will include the car details, license, plate, car make, car model, and more. Section 2 will list the car damage per damage in a list, and Section 3 will only include exactly 6-sentence description of the car damage. So what we are going to do is we are going to analyze this video where we saw the full overview of the car. This is a 60-second video, but in this case, we are going to ask the program to generate kind of a insurance report. So let's run this again, and let's wait for the response. Okay, let's take a look here, and we have section 1 details, we have license plate, MAT 251, Toyota Camry. I think it's a Toyota Camry, so that's fine, that's nice. Approximate model year 2019, color blue. It didn't get the mileage, okay? Didn't get the last one. We have the car damage here, significant scratches on the rear quarter panels and more, and we have the description at the bottom. So it literally analyzing a video. I'm going to share the links, Dimitri, of the demo. We get this literally with zero effort. And by the way, because English or prompting is the new language that we need to know, what we can do here is you are an expert and say, we can say something like, the output should a JSON object, and it also should include the information in English and Spanish. So I am going to run this again, but this time I'm going to ask the output, the generation, that be in JSON format and give me the answers in Spanish and English. So of course it's going to take a little longer, but at any moment we are going to have something like this. Oh my God. It was very, very cool if I make it at the same time there, but we have here everything. And by the way, I asked for a JSON. I didn't add any details of the JSON. So I can say the JSON must have this field or this structure. I'm going to say everything, but we have here section 1, license plate in English. We have the car make, the model, everything there. Section 2, the list of the option, the list of the bad stuff, the scratches on the rear bumper, dent and rear, more. Section 3, the description. And then we have the same in Spanish. Out of the box, we have the capability to have multi-language stuff, and it's running everything there. So let me go here and let me share this. I am going to find the link here, but it's somewhere in the Azure samples. Let me find the Azure samples. So we are going to see this one next, and in Azure samples, if I go, yes. If I go C# and Net AI, video analyzer, this is it, copy link. So this is the main repo. And this one also includes several scenarios because there are different libraries to work in .NET with these AI services. So you have here the full description. You can run this in code spaces. You can run this locally using models and more. There's a full story. You can even have a Blazor application that is going to show everything. So If you want to use this locally, you also can do it in Docker and more, but everything is here in terms of vision. And I hope it makes sense, because I really like to have this scenario where we can see an analysis, and we can see here that, hey, we don't have the mileage, and we saw that the last frame showed the mileage. So let's change here the messages. So number of frames, it's in 10. Let's do 15 frames, and maybe with 15 frames from the analysis, we will get the last frame with the mileage and the kilometers of the car, which is something around 151,856. So I think with 15 frames as a sample, we should be good. So let's run this again and wait for an answer. So there it is. We have, with 15 frames, we have access to the latest frame. So it's also understanding the latest frame when we took a picture of the dashboard of the car and we see everything there, that this is the number that we are looking for. So this is also important in terms of understand that how we want to analyze things. The models are smart, but it's up to us to see what we can do. Another live scenario, live sample that I want to show is, and we saw this literally here, is the Net AI traffic jam analyzer. So this project, this is a very cool project. This project use this live website that shows in real time the traffic cameras for Alicante. And what we have here, of course, this is literally 3 a.m. in the morning right now there, or 12 p.m. Oh my God, it's late for you also, Natalie. 12 p.m. So we can see all of the traffic cameras here. But what is interesting is that I can pick up one of the images, like this here, and I can see that the image have three things here. We have here on the top, the name of the camera. On the bottom, we have the day and time of the camera, and then the general camera image. So I can go back to my model, to my GPT-4o model, in example, GPT-4o model, and I can say something like, in example, let's clear this, and we can say something like, let me go by the cameras. Where is the cameras? Image, not this one. I can pick up this photo and I can say, analyze the photo. Oh, sorry, put photo in Spanish. But it's going to say something smart enough. It's going to say, the image appears to be a traffic camera shot in a highway. This is the name of the camera. This is the name of the camera. This is the day and time. And it's also going to say the road seems relatively busy or more. But I can use a specific prompt that I have to basically analyze the camera and get the JSON object with that. So let me open the camera analyzer. And this is a full solution here. And again, let me copy the link for this one, sorry. So this is a full solution where we have tons of services and it's all hosted and managed by Aspire, but we have here the main application, and then we have microservices to do the analysis, to do the scrapper and understand the cameras in the website, to do the manager of the web API, a couple of workers and more. And the magic here, by the way, the kudos here goes to Emiliano, an MVP from Spain, that he created this. And here, this is the prompt that is using. So I am going to provide you an image from a CCTV camera that shows a ROAD. I need you to give me a JSON object with title, the title in the top left from the camera, traffic, which is an integer from 0 to 100 to show the amount of traffic, and the day, which is in the bottom. So it's going to run and it's going to do all of this. Let me see if this is running locally or in the web. So I think it's running fine. So I can run this if I want right now. And it's going to use a GPT-4o model that we have on the cloud and more and everything. And we can see this in a couple of seconds working here. Let's see where it's opening. I can't find where is the, oh, there it is still. Oh, I don't, oh, no, yes, I see Docker is running. By the way, I need Docker running for this one. Yes, it's running. Okay, so somehow Docker didn't like to run with this one. I have Docker running here, but it didn't like to do this. But you can follow the tutorial here, and you can see you can deploy this to Azure, and you can see this up and running. But what I want to also show you is that we have also the chance to use local models. What is local model? Of course, when we talk about models and we saw the models that we have here in Azure, like as an example, I have deployed here in Azure GPT-4o, the real-time preview and more. But if we go to the model catalog, I can see that I have tons of models, 5.4 from Microsoft, also from Microsoft, AI21 Jamba. We have model from Mistral, from Meta, and more. But we can deploy some models locally. And this is interesting because you can run part of these models in your own machine. So in example, one way to run these models is with a tool called Olama. If you go to Olama models, olama.com, you can download this tool, install it on Windows, Linux, Mac, or even as a Docker container. I have the Docker container here. And then you can download models to your machine. And there are super popular models like Llama 3.3, 5.4, QWQ, and more. So in example, what I can do here, let me start this container. I have Olama running locally here. And if I go to the terminal, this is the terminal from this container, and I do Olama ls, this is all of the model that I have installed locally in my machine. And you can see that I have small models like Mini LM that is only 45 megabytes, still big enough for the diskette that we were talking. And there are others big like Llama 3.3, which is 42 gigabytes. By the way, this is just a piece of the memory that you need in your GPU if you want to run this. So depending on the model, it's important to see what hardware you have here. But I can do something like Llama run Llama 3.1, and what I am going to have here, the model is already downloaded, so I have it in my machine. Otherwise, it's going to take some time. I have here the chance to say, hey, my name is Bruno, to chat with the model. So you can see here this is me literally talking with a large language model that is not in the cloud, is locally, but this is kind of nice. So I can say solve 2 plus 2. Answer is 4. And I can say, what is my name? And because the model has memory, implement this chat completion that also remember what will happen. I said that my name is Bruno, and then I ask some questions. So I can start to use this model. And I have here, one of the other samples that I have is literally the same sample, to do the analysis of the cameras, but running locally. Instead of using the model in the cloud, it's going to use a model locally, and it's going to use a Llama 3.2 vision. So let's give it a run, and it should work. I hope it works. So once it starts to compile, we should see the Aspire dashboard somewhere there, and it should start to create some containers here. Because the whole idea is that the information is stored in a SQL server, and we are going to analyze the image, not the images from the SQL server, but the cameras are going to be there, and we are going to store their camera, date and time, and status to have there. So let's see where we are and when this one is going to start. Somehow Docker is not helping me today for my demos. Sorry about that. While this one is starting, any questions? I have the same issue with Docker. Okay, so give me 1 second. I am going to try to find. So if I go to my labs, this is the Roma benchmark. No, it's not here. So let me delete this Olama just in case and run it again. And while this one is building, let me share the camera traffic analyzer project there. Okay, there is something very wrong with my Docker, and I don't know why. It was literally working until a couple of hours ago. I tested everything before the demo, and because all of this requires Docker, we don't have the Docker capabilities, which is weird. So let's do the typical window, quit Docker desktop, and start it again. And I have a plan B to show the cameras. In the meantime, any question? Sorry about that, because we have one more topic to go. By the way, if you want to test these demos, we have everything here. Or in example, if you want to do the vision and more, those are the samples. But if you want to do, I don't know if I can do the real-time audio here. But this is an implementation of what we see when I was talking with the model. Let me see if it picks the good microphone here. Hey, hello, how are you? Please tell me something funny to do in Toronto.
Feeling like adding a dash of fun to your Toronto adventure? How about taking a quirky ghost tour through the
So this is literally what we see that we can do online, but running here in my machine. You can, by the way, you can code this in. I use C#, but there is also the Python sample somewhere here. And the main idea here is that we are using in libraries. We are using the AI and Azure OpenAI already have everything here. And I use NAudio, which is a .NET one, to work with the microphone and your speakers. But it's a very, very simple one that you can implement. And again, adding this to your applications is kind of amazing. So sorry, any questions before we move to the last topic?
No.
No questions, perfect. Sorry about that. I will give it a try one more time to Docker, which is super sad. But hey, I can share later the videos where you can see this running. Mm-hmm. And let's move to the last topic, which is you probably imagined what we are going to talk, which is assistants or agents. And the whole idea is that we also are working right now with agents. And agents are applications that are supported in the back by large language models that basically they are autonomous enough to perform tasks. And they can involve, and they usually must involve, a human in the loop to do things. But we can create different agents, and we can have agents talking between each other. And it's kind of a nice interaction of what we can do and how they can all work together. So, in example, in Azure, what we have here, if we go one more time to the playground, we have an agent playground, an assistant playground, where we can define what the agent wants to do, and the agent will start to work. And this is fine. This is work nice, and I strongly advise you to do this because you can add file search, implement your file search features, and more. And you can start to do a lot of things. But if you want to program this, what you can do here is something like this. So we can have a simple agent. And what is going to have a simple agent? First of all, we need a set of credentials to access to an Azure subscriptions. And then we are going to create an agent. This agent is going to be use a GPT-4o model. Remember, based on the name of the model, I can deploy and add my content filter, my security features, and more there. And then we're going to have a very simple set of instructions. Here we have, you are a personal math tutor, write and run code to answer math questions. Then I'm going to add a question from the user. I'm going to say, hey, my name is Bruno. I need to solve an equation, 3x plus 11 equals 14. Can you help me? And I am going to add an action, basically an activity that the agent needs to do. So please add the answer to the question. The user has a basic account, so just share the answer to the question. I will create a run thread, because this is all run in a thread that is going to define the connection, who needs to speak with who, and then I am going to wait for the response. So if I run this, what is interesting here is that, remember that I have here that the user has a basic account, so just share the answer to the question. If I run this, it's going to take some time. Oh my God, one more time. Let me copy here and paste the user secrets, or sadly enough, I am probably at the end of my quota. I don't think so. I hope not. So I am going to run this, and the agent is going to solve that equation and is going to give me an answer. So it's running, it's posting everything to the cloud, and then we have status in progress, in progress, in progress. So literally syncing. If you ask the question directly to the model is going to give you an answer, but right now it's making all of the connections. So failed. Why failed? Did they change anything? No. Let's run this again. It should work. I think I'm probably getting the quota limit in my, by the way, let me delete this and delete this. And I am probably getting the quota limits. Oh, yes. Okay, so I probably hit my quota limits here for today, working and testing, and this is me testing the demos for today. So let me see if I can create a new model. By the way, if you want to see how you can do this, you can deploy a model. Let me delete the GPT-4o that I have here. Let's create a new model, GPT-4o. Name the model GPT-4o new, global standard, yes, deploy. And let's try with the new model. I don't think this is going to release my quota, but just to check if I am using the right model, if I go here, there is no usage here, so we are fine. If we try to do this, okay, we can't use this one, GPT-4o new. It has an old engine. We need to wait a couple of minutes until the GPT-4o is registered and we can use it there. So the model name is, so let's see if we can use the mini. I may have some quota there. Yes, I probably don't have quota because it's already should be solved, and it should work faster. So if I go here in example to program, and let's try to run this one, but I am going to have the same issue. This is a different one that calls functions. I'm just want to see if this one runs, but we should get the same problem. I have run out of credits on the 8th of January. Okay, it's going to be a long month for me. No, same issue. So I get to the end of my quota. But the whole idea here is that, in example, what I have here is I define an agent, and then I add a set of functions. These functions are C# functions. You can use whatever you want. You can call to a third-party API, to your own systems and more, and then the model will understand, the assistant will understand how to connect this and is going to solve the question. And this one is implemented here using basically getting the weather for a city, or getting the city name, or getting how many parks do we have in Seattle or Toronto, information of the parks, and it works like this. And the third sample that is also not going to work, it's instead of having everything locally, what it's going to do is going to read the specification from an application. This application is a Python application that exposes also information about parks, weather, cities, and more. And with this information, is going to basically the model is going to understand. So this one incorporates this example how you can incorporate a third party system like an API running in the cloud locally or somewhere ever, so you can run this. And again, this is all sample code. I am going to share the link for this one. If you want to use it, there it is, or you have the chance to use it literally here in the browser. And I know that we are close to time, so I am going to do one more sample with this. And as I said that I have a plan B, let me see if I can show the plan B here in the meantime. Any questions? I share this. I don't know, anyone want to see how you can chat with your data, which I hope it works, also demo, or some other questions?
No questions.
So Dimitri says, what resources will you recommend to continue learning on this topic? So, I mean, everything that we have here has a very nice set of documentation, feedback, and more, where you can start to learn. The Generative AI, GitHub Generative AI for Beginners course, it's something that I strongly recommend to everyone, because this is a full, how many we have here, 20 plus lessons course where we talk about a lot of Gen AI and also the implementations locally and in the cloud and more. We are building a more specific focus on sample ones and demo ones in .NET that is going to be released at the end of the month. But this is a good place to start, because you have here literally everything. So if you want to take a look and keep learning, I will say go here. By the way, fork the repo and make it your own. Use your own code, your own do everything that you want, because it's literally there. Natalie, hey, yes, thanks to you. Sorry for the problems there. I don't know what's happening with Docker. Docker is a key piece of everything that I am doing, and it's not happy today with my machine. I am trying to open the box that I have, where I also have the demos running. Let's see if it works. But in the meantime, that's basically it. If someone wants to contact me also, let me go here to the main slide. You can find me here in aka.ms/Bruno, where you can find my LinkedIn, my information, and everything else that you have here. So, okay, I can't even connect to my debug. Okay, so this is one of those days that nothing is going to work. Sorry, Sam, about this. This is not just one demo not working. Something happened today. It's not a good Wednesday.
Don't be sorry at all. I encounter that all the time. When things go live, they go crazy. So it's completely understandable.
Hey, no problem. I can share. I will share later with you if you want to share in the user group all of the previous recorded videos for demos that you can take a look at this. But
Sure.
yes, I can even connect to my virtual machine today to that. So hey,
Yeah,
probably
and I
going to
have
stop here.
the links available, and then we'll post those on the meetup site as well. But the great presentation, some really impressive stuff that you can do with the Azure AI Foundry.
Yes,
Um,
AI Foundry is the goal, and is the place that every time that we have something new, it goes to AI Foundry. So that's what we really want everybody to start to take a look and see and start to really get. If you want to learn more, everything that we are doing, voice, audio, real time, and more is going to be there. So if you know a little about Azure, you can probably go there.
Very good. Excellent. So before we wrap it up, does anyone have any last minute questions or comments for Bruno, either verbally or through chat? Please feel free to chime in. And if not, I have a few links that I posted in the chat window. And if I may, let me go ahead and share my screen.
Yes, the final one, because this is my DevBox virtual machine when I have the demo from the cameras running, or it should be running. So I will try to run this so you can take a look how it works, how it's in real time. But or if you want to do this should be run in anytime soon. But if you want to do your stuff, this is what I expected to have running in my machine, but today was not the day. By the way, can you see Docker and Visual Studio and more? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. No, I was thinking because we are using some security whatevers, and I was thinking, okay, maybe I am also not sharing the dev box to the web. But no, it should be somewhere here.
All right. Very good.
So it's starting. Okay, see a couple of errors, not happy about that. And this is the full, oh my God, it's taking forever. So this is the full Aspire solution where we have a lot of services. We have the Olama Vision to analyze the images locally because we are running locally the model. We have the SQL Server, which is going to finish starting anytime soon, and they have the web front end. So if I go to the front end and start to take a look at the cameras, at any moment we are going to see the live cameras that came from this. And by the way, this is night, so there is no traffic here. So we are going to see the cameras. And as you can see here, when this one was running last time was on 13th of December. This is the last time I opened this for running. This is the values that we have. And you can see here how we have green, yellow, red, or orange to see how busy were the cameras there. So this is all parts of solution that you can run. This is the application up and running. And if I want to check a new one, I just check a new one. Oh, this one was already there. So I will check a new one. And while this one is running in the AI service, I will start to see the analysis of the images. So it's going to take some time because it's setting up everything. But if you want to run a full solution, this is a great example of how you can use AI services with vision services and more to basically get analysis from cameras. So that's it. Sorry, it took me 1 hour to open a running demo.
No, very
Go
useful.
back to you.
Thanks again, Bruno. I really appreciate it. And if you don't mind, I'm going to just present a couple concluding
yes,
slides. But beforehand, wanted to pause once again. Any questions or comments for Bruno? All right. So within the chat window, I posted a few links, and those are pertaining to the YouTube channel. So the link is posted in the chat window as I mentioned, but I also ask you subscribe to get upload notifications. In addition, same thing with my blog, where I post technical articles as well as PowerPoint presentations from the user group, as well as any other Q&As that come up out of these meetings. And you can also subscribe to that to get updates as well. And last but certainly not least is the link for the feedback eval form. Take a moment to fill that out so we can provide Bruno with some constructive criticism. Also, if you haven't heard of devitjobs.com, I encourage you to visit the site. It's a great place to find out who's hiring and where and what type of job, whether it's remote or in person. And you can also filter by the specific technologies of the positions. So feel free to check out devitjobs.com. It is free of charge and available. Lastly, my contact information, snasser@nistechnologies.com. If you have any questions that arise after the meeting, you can also find all my social links on Linktree/Sam Nasser. And lastly, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, I invite you to do so. And so with that, thanks again to Bruno for presenting, and thanks to all who attended, and look forward to seeing you all next month. Good night, everyone.